Beep boop bop, it's Becca and welcome back to Baking with Becca. So today we're going to make one of my favorite fall treats. It's going to be vegan apple crisp. Now this is one of my favorites because I get to pick the apples myself sometimes, not this time use farmers market apples, which are also super awesome. They have such a nice taste, especially with the crisp, just a nice fall treat. So I'm super excited, let's go. So here are all of our ingredients for a crisp. We'll start over here. We have 6 apples, half a cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, half a cup of apple juice, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 cup of flour, half a cup of margarine, 1 cup of sugar. So first off, we want to prep all of our apples. So I gave them all a nice rinse. You want them to be clean before you start peeling them. So you can take your peeler and peel all of the apples. I'm super excited for the flavors in this crisp, because all these apples I got from the farmer's market yesterday, and they are so good. They're nice and crunchy and just so sweet, but then they also have a little bit of a tartness to them, which is going to be a nice balance in the crisp. So try and get the freshest apples you can. I've also made this in past years by picking my own apples, which just adds an extra bonus fun to it. Okay, all of our apples are peeled. It didn't actually take that long. I am a professional peeler though, so that might be why. So now we are ready to cut our apples. So the way that I like to do it is I like to cut them like down towards the core just to get some nice slivers. So you don't want the pieces to be too thick or too thin. So I think this is about a good thickness. Or you can even do it a little bit thinner. So you want to cut it all the way down to the core. And also there can be a variety of shapes, variety of thicknesses, doesn't really matter. And then these big ones, you want to cut them in half also. They'll cook better. You turn your apple, come straight down again. Okay, so I'm going to do this with the rest of the apples, and to be honest, the real reason why I like this recipe is because I get to eat pieces of apple as I go, and there's so many that no one can even tell. So here are all of our apples, nice and cut up, all 6 of them, minus maybe 1 or 2 pieces, that's it, it's fine. And so our first step in preparing our apple crisp is mixing together our cinnamon and our sugar. So this is our half a cup of sugar and our tablespoon of cinnamon. We want to mix this up to make a nice cinnamon sugar. Okay, so first thing, we want to take some of our cinnamon sugar and put it on the bottom of our pan. By the way, this is a 13 by 9 pan. That's kind of the size that works the best for all these apples. You just want to put a thin layer on the bottom. Good. And next we can start adding in our apples. So we just randomly place them all along the bottom of the pan. Okay, so now that we have our first layer down, we want to add another layer of our cinnamon sugar. So again, just sprinkle it right on top. These apples are going to absorb all of this great cinnamon flavor. They're going to be incredible. And now we do another layer and keep going until all your apples are done. So all of our apples are in the pan. It made about 3 layers. And so next we want to combine our vanilla with our apple juice. And it kind of just mixes in by itself. And then we want to pour this over our apples. Awesome, now we're ready to make our topping. Next, make sure you preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Now we want to combine our last 3 ingredients to make our topping. So we just have our flour and our sugar. We want to mix these together a little bit. Looking good. And now we want to add our margarine in. So you want your margarine to still be cold and hard from being in the refrigerator. You don't want to soften it because then it's not going to be as crispy. So you just break it up into pieces and throw it in here. Done. And now we want to mix this together, allowing the margarine to break into little pieces, and then we're going to end up with a crumble. So I switched over to using my hands just to make sure it gets super crumbly, and this is what you want it to look like before putting on top of your apples. So I went ahead and I added 2 more tablespoons of margarine just to make it a little bit more crumbly. So now I'm going to add the topping onto the apples. So you can just sprinkle it on all over. Try and make it pretty even. Now the apples are under their nice warm blanket of crumbs, and this is ready to go in the oven. So you want to bake this for about 40 minutes. It bakes for quite a while. You know that it's done when it's nice and bubbly, but the top is golden. So you want to keep a close eye on it. The apple crisp is out of the oven, and it smells so strong, so good in my house right now. Like after baking for like 10 minutes, everyone's like, oh, it smells amazing. So I'm super excited for this. So we're just gonna take a nice little cut into here. Oh, the top is so crispy. You can even see like all this gooiness coming out the sides. Okay, time to try it. That is amazing. Those farm fresh apples have such a good flavor, and the topping has like a nice crispiness, and it's also sweet on top of that. I think this recipe is awesome. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Make sure to try out this recipe. Get the best apples you can and make this. You will not regret it. Also, make sure to subscribe to this channel and let me know in the comments anything you want me to try to make or what you think about this, and I'll see you next time. Bye.